Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to the second episode of SKELETOBER Skeletration.
Hey,
So happy to be here.
We have a very fun episode for you guys today. So, of course, it's me, Ben. It's Chad. Hey, Chad.
hello.
We got Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hi.
And we got Josh.
Hello.
It's Josh. And we're here celebrating. So not only is it the second week of SKELETOBER celebration, but this is also our 300th episode of Death Battle Cast.
Yeah,
We've been doing this for
That's
300
crazy.
episodes.
that's wild. That's a lot.
That's many.
It doesn't feel right. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that. Like we've done it that many times. I don't know. It's crazy to me.
I mean, about 6 years, right? Like, that feels kind of right.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Maybe it's just too big a number. Well, either way, thank you everybody for watching the show and supporting us for so long that we're able to get to episode 300 of Death Battle Cast. As usual, we've got a matchup planned for this cast, and this one's kind of a doozy. Again, we're doing skeletons. So for the month of October. So this week's
I'm sorry,
matchup,
what did you say? The month of what?
SKELETOBER, thank you, Ben.
Yes.
What?
There is no October. What is this October? There is only Skeletober!
I'm glad
Sorry,
Ryan's
you may
he's
continue.
really handy
He's
with that
on it.
asset. That's good shit right
Absolutely.
there, Ryan. What a champ.
Oh, yeah.
Finger on
What a
the trigger.
fucking pro.
Again, like last week, audio listeners, we really appreciate you. You're amazing. You really should check the video version of these Skeletober episodes.
It's just
but
wavy
yes.
motion graphics. It's
No,
it's like the-
no, it is
It's
the
the
most incredible
frequency.
motion graphic we've ever had on this show.
Someone put a flag effect on Saga.
I made that motion graphic, Chad, in 5 minutes. Like,
I'm sure you
that
did.
was a lot of time spent and effort on having 2 words float around a little bit.
Dude, the chat is
okay.
in on it. Look at all the Skeletobers right now in the chat. This is great.
Love it. Yes, you are correct. The month of October doesn't exist. It is
Thank
Skeletober.
you.
That is right.
Thank you.
That is my bad. I am a boob for thinking that. Okay, so for Skeletober, we have skeletons. This week we are doing some crazy powerful ones. The Ghost Rider versus Sans from Undertale. I have no idea how this is gonna go.
Could be loud.
Yeah.
By the way, Ben,
Yeah,
real quick before you
Mhm.
before you reveal who's repping who, later for Alligator in the chat, one of the first things he said was, "Oh dear God, Sam is repping Sans, isn't he?"
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hopefully he doesn't think I'm going to do a bad job, but we'll see. We'll see. It is a
Well-
very... It probably should have been a Liam job, because Sans is really like a difficult character to analyze, I would say. But we'll get to it. That's
Well,
later in the show.
Liam, I believe Liam is on next week's episode, which we can talk a little bit about at the end of this episode. We will also have later on in the show a sneak peek for the next death battle, which
It's
is
awesome.
SpongeBob versus Aquaman.
It's awesome.
Our magnum
It looks
opus.
so good.
So stay tuned for that thing. We'll get to that. All right. So yes, you are correct for Alligator. Sam will be repping Sans, and I'm going to be repping Ghost Rider. The way this works, as usual, is it's our job to convince the jury that our character will win in a death battle, and the jury consists of 3 seats: Chad, Josh, and you guys watching this live at home. If you're not watching this live, we do this every single Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. We'd love to see you here chatting in the chat with the other Death Battle members. There's some silver badges now. Wait, is that new? That's new. We didn't have silver badges before. That's awesome. We got to that point, whatever month point that is for the silver badges for members. I love it.
I think it might be
good.
6 months, which, hell yeah.
I think that's 6
That's
months,
awesome.
yeah, so that would make
Yeah.
sense. Thank you guys. It's so cool to see that. I don't know. Like when we first started doing the membership thing earlier this year, we were like, a lot of us had very little experience with like what it would be like. So it's kind of cool seeing like the new badges pop up and whatnot. Awesome. All right. So I believe we also have some art that we wanted to share. I
Yeah.
don't know if this artist actually
Ooh.
knows this is happening, but
Who doesn't?
the artist she doesn't, I believe.
Yeah, we
Carbonated Gem. If we can bring that art up. Yes. So Carbonated
Ooh.
Gem, that is at Carbonated Gem on Twitter. So they've done death battle artwork before. Like they do like
Whole lot.
some fan versus matchup artwork and whatnot. But I believe Luis found this and was like, hey, nobody ever makes art for death battle cast matchups.
That's
Look
very
at
rare.
this.
Above
Look
and
at it. It looks
beyond.
so cool.
So we had to show it
Awesome.
off, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Carbonated
Ghost
Gem.
Rider. Yes,
Wow.
Ghost Rider versus Sans fan art, which is really cool. So, Sam, I hope
Done.
our arguments can do that art justice.
We can try our best, Ben.
Well,
I think there might be a
we'll
little
figure it
bit more metaphysical conversation than actual that, but yeah.
Well,
Well, I will say going into this is definitely a matchup that both characters are incredibly complicated and have a lot going on for different reasons. Ghost Rider because of his history, Sans because it's just Undertale. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so much going on there. So we're obviously not going to be able to cover everything here. We obviously haven't researched every single little bit, nook and cranny of the characters. That's what Death Battle proper would be for. So we're going to jump into this with what we do know, what we have pulled up. And anybody watching live, if there's something you want to talk about, mention, make sure that we talk about, let us know in the chat. We're keeping an eye on you guys. And we will get to whatever you bring up. I can go ahead and start my 60-second intro. So, all right. Ghost Rider is unstoppable. As we determined in Ghost Rider versus Lobo, a matchup which seemed like, or an episode of Death Battle, which seemed like it would be another DC win. Ghost Rider is way more powerful and way more indestructible than I think anybody who's not super familiar with the comics really knows. There is no way to kill him unless you happen to have a holy weapon. There is no way to stop him unless you have literal ultimate one god powers, like god above gods powers. He can regenerate from just a single bit of hellfire. He can throw hellfire, which does not attack the body, it attacks the soul. He can eat souls. He can survive basically anything. And of course, there's the penance stare, which he has full control over how deadly it is. And the ultimate deadliness depends on what you have done as a person to make it unstoppable. Just unstoppable. There's nothing that can stop this guy.
Well, maybe. Can before I do my 60 seconds, can I get one thing clarified about Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider himself does have a soul, correct? Like, I know he gets a lot of souls in his like day job. He collects souls and stuff. So like, yeah, he has souls, but does he have a soul proper?
I'd have to double check. Chat, you guys might know this, because technically he has sold his soul to Mephisto.
But that still does mean he
And I'm not
has a
sure
soul.
if he has his soul with him or if Mephisto has it.
Even if Mephisto owns it, he has a soul that is attached to him on that level, right? Like, if his soul is
Yes.
affected by Mephisto, he himself is still affected. It's not like
And
the
I
soul's
would
completely detached.
imagine Zarathos. I didn't even mention Zarathos. Somebody in the chat just brought it up. Zarathos, the demon he's connected with, or not a demon, it's technically an angel, I imagine is a spirit, a soul. So, yes?
Okay. Sick. Well, then Sans has a pretty good chance, I think. Let's talk about this. So, what Sans does is it is very confusing because he plays around in a fourth wall knowing way, in a very interesting fourth wall knowing way. Like, he has certain mechanics that adheres to him. So, in this fight, he attacks first. There's not a question about that, right? That's how he works mechanically, and that's how fights with him work, and he understands any mechanics of a game he is inside, right? So in this sense, he is inside of a game, and there are going to be attacks, so he goes first.
Most
And-
dangerous game.
Yeah, and he, for starters, can just throw his soul down an endless hallway, and then shoot lasers at it. And I don't think that Ghost Rider actually has a way to defend his soul against that. And with that being said, Sans does this in a way where mechanically you, as the next turn, aren't allowed to take your turn because his turn doesn't finish because it's an endless hallway. So, like, that's the hard part here, right? It's a weird conversation, but that's how I think he does it. He just throws Ghost Rider's soul down an endless hallway and shoots lasers at it until his soul's dead, and then I don't think Ghost Rider can do anything.
I mean, even okay,
Interesting.
that is taking gameplay mechanics very literally.
Yeah, like
But
William
like
in
you
the chat
have to
said.
do with Sans,
Yeah.
right? Like
That's
the mechanics
the
for the
whole
win.
thing.
Yeah. Like, he's got cool fucking Gaster Blaster laser beams and shit that, like, damage souls, right? Like, I don't think there's any really, like, hard evidence that they, like, destroy, like, he never, like, busts through a concrete wall with one. He just shoots your soul and other people's souls, I guess. So, right? Like, it's hard. There's not, like, feats that are unrelated to a soul that you can associate with him besides, like, a lot of speed feats. He can instant teleport and all that kind of stuff. But as far as damage dealing, it is all to a soul.
Well, I will say, Sponge God Omnipants says, you're asking if Ghost Rider has a counter to soul manipulation? What is Sam on?
Well, that's the thing with Ghost Rider. Like, yeah, he does a lot of soul manipulating, yes, but I can't think of instances where, like, I mean, if he could, why would Mephisto be in ownership of his soul, right? Like, he doesn't have a lot of soul defense. He's got soul offense, sure.
I believe okay, and I may be we're jumping into territory like right off the bat that I'm a little unfamiliar with Ghost Rider because I have a lot of stuff about him, but not necessarily about him defending his own soul because Ghost Rider typically is about attacking other people's souls. But if I recall correctly, in chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. Because of his deal with Mephisto, his soul is protected by Mephisto. And Mephisto is on par with being like Galactus, a planetary, like sun destroying type entity. So I don't believe he'll be able to attack kill the soul or throw it out of him if he can't overpower Mephisto's power. Also, Zarathos is like on that level too, and Zarathos is there too. So even if he does remove Johnny's soul, Zarathos is still there, and Zarathos will just take over the body, which is what Sans doesn't want to happen. Once Zarathos comes out, it's over.
But then doesn't he just do this to Zarathos' soul as well?
Well, what's the catch there? Does he get a turn now? Because now one soul's already going down the hallway, but another one stepped in, so they would get a turn.
No, because it's a new fight.
So they'd get a shot before he could then do it again.
It's like a fight with a new character. Like in at least in the game, that's how it works. Anytime like they change phases, it like resets the fight, right? So
oh my god, are we getting into like I don't? This is technically very interesting because like this is going into an area where I don't think most people would expect a death metal to go. We've got to be very meticulous about like where is his soul? So Johnny's soul is either with him or with Mephisto. I'm assuming it's with him, and just when he dies, it goes to Mephisto. But that doesn't quite make sense because, like, Ghost Rider doesn't die; he's already dead-ish. But undead,
yeah.
I guess.
But this is.
But then there's also
like
Zarathos. Where is Zarathos' soul? And does Zarathos have a soul? Because Zarathos is an angel of vengeance, the spirit of vengeance. So and Johnny is connected to Zarathos, but I don't believe Zarathos is like in Johnny.
No, but
don't take that out of context.
And I think when you like, yeah, Ghost Rider's like already dead, but also his soul isn't, because like souls in that universe don't die when people die. Those souls go to a whole slew of gods in different realms and stuff, right? Like even superheroes that die can go to whatever proverbial heaven they have and then come back, and that is like their soul, I would say, right? So
well, sure, okay.
Even if he's undead,
So,
his soul isn't dead. His soul's still very much a tangible thing because obviously Mephisto wants it, right? Like,
Okay.
so it's not dead and it
Okay,
can
so-
be killed.
I think we can already assume we're only 15 minutes into this, and I think we can already assume that sure he could probably destroy Johnny's soul, but Zarathos is going to be tough. Deku Mito in the chat. Thank you for bringing this up because I wasn't entirely sure if this is true, but I think you are correct. Zarathos is an embodiment of vengeance, not an actual soul. So it because Zarathos is not a living thing, it is the spirit, the essence of vengeance. So Sans isn't going to be able to. If Sans can take souls out of bodies, there is no Zarathos soul in Johnny that you can rip out and throw down the hallway.
William in the chat pointed out that the Zarathos is the spirit of vengeance, and he only attacks people who are guilty. And he actually left Worldbreaker Hulk alone because he was innocent. Sans is completely innocent. Like Zero Sin's very innocent person.
And I saw the chat debate on this a lot. See, the thing is, Sans is incredibly lazy, and sloth is one of the 7 deadly sins. So
I actually saw that in the chat, and I wanted to bring that up too. I saved it.
That's amazing.
Thick Grimes first brought it up. Thank you,
I
Thick
won't
Grimes.
say that's a bad argument, but I don't think it necessarily counts. Like, that's taking in the generic biblical idea of sins, whereas I don't think the penance there has like killed somebody for being lazy before, right? Like,
I mean,
it's typically like greater crimes than watching TV.
Ghost Rider is sort of biblical-ish, though. Like, it's using those sorts of rule sets. It's using the biblical hell and heaven and the ideas of
but is
Christian-ish Satan and God and whatnot.
I feel like but also I don't think I've never seen him like penance stare somebody and be like, "Oh, you're so horny, you're dead now." Like, there's not like I don't think like lust and gluttony really like factor into his penance stare very often, or at least not that I can recall.
It's typically about it typically punishes people for killing others, or for pain.
hasn't Sans
like
killed though?
Sans? No.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, like. And this is another thing, right? He knows when you, as a player, like, load a save, and he knows that he's just pushing you back and not killing you.
Okay.
And so, like, there's a difference. He understands he's never able to kill, and he never does kill the protagonist of the game when you're on a genocide run. But also, like, he's the protagonist of the game on that run, right? Because he's, like, kind of the hero. I guess maybe not protagonist, but he's the hero of that world on that run. And he pushes, he knows he can't kill you or your soul, and he knows there's other beings like Flowey in the game that can reset the timeline. Like, essentially they can load saves. And he understands that, right? Like, that he's very fourth wall. Like, he never shows the ability to do it himself, or else I would say he would just, load the game until he eventually beats Ghost Rider. But he's very aware of other beings doing it.
Sans is aware of universe resets, essentially. Hello, dog. I will say, I'm a calendar man, did mention in the chat that, so you mentioned Flowey. Flowey is a character in Undertale that does not have a soul, and there is an ending where Flowey absorbs Sans' soul. So, that's something Ghost Rider can do. So even if Sans has the power to pull a soul out of. First of all, if he were to pull a soul out of Johnny's soul out of Ghost Rider and throw it down this hallway or whatever and intend to kill it, sure, Zarathos, isn't by the canon of Marvel or whatever. Zarathos is meant to be a spirit of vengeance against those who have done something bad. He's also tied to this body who is dying. Zarathos is not gonna let Sans kill Johnny, and if he does, then that is something that Zarathos will have. Will that gives Zarathos a reason to seek vengeance. So I don't think that reason really adds up here. So the way I see this going is, there's plenty more to talk about, I'm sure. The way I see this going is, if this move really does work this way in this context, Sans rips out Johnny's soul, tosses it down this bowling alley or whatever the fuck it is. And then Zarathos gets mad and just eats Sans' soul, and Sans is just a normal skeleton laying on the ground in baggy clothes. The end. Game over. Right? Like, that's how this goes.
I mean, does Zarathos have a soul?
No, we just established that.
No. Well, but like what?
He has a concept.
Also, then if he beats Johnny to that point, though,
yeah, isn't a soul the concept of a person?
Yeah, like that's just like
seems like a
it's the
synonym for
death battle
soul.
done right before Zarathos takes over, right?
All right.
This is getting real existential, by the way.
I love
exactly. As we start questioning, the meaning of life and reality, and think about these existential questions, let's think about that for a little bit, and let's give ourselves a little break to do that by watching a trailer. We have a trailer to show you guys for the upcoming Black Adam movie. This episode is sponsored by Black Adam, which is coming up very soon. Let's go ahead and play that trailer.
My son sacrificed his life to save me. These powers are not a gift, but a curse. Born out of rage.
This loose cannon needs to be locked down.
Good luck.
We're here to negotiate your peaceful surrender.
I'm not peaceful. Nor do I surrender. Here we go.
There's a war going on outside when they ain't safe from.
Black Adam.
You have two choices.
You can be the destroyer of this world. Or you can be its savior.
Black Adam. See the full trailer now. Only in theaters October 21st.
Okay, you can watch Black Adam in theaters and IMAX internationally on October 19th and in North America on October 21st. I think I've said this before. I'm just as excited to see Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam as I am Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate.
Absolutely.
Which I feel like is not being talked about nearly enough. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
And like, let's be real. Like, we're all gonna go see it. We're all gonna see it. So go see it in theaters. And if anybody asks you, tell our father Warner that we sent you there. Okay, that's what we need.
Our dear father Warner. All right. So, how existential is this death battle gonna get?
Well, we're just debating on the concept of a
man.
soul, so we're pretty up there.
I know. I mean, how far does this need to go? Like,
Or can we take it?
I got something I want to toss out there. Is like, Sans apparently has perfect evasion, right? Like he can't be hit.
Yeah, I mean, technically, he has 1 HP, so when he does get hit, he dies. He gets hit in the genocide run of the game. He gets hit once, and in one of the other runs of the game, he gets like bound up and captured by Flowey, who is like blah blah blah, a lot of stuff. He's another person that can load the game. And literally turns your game off and stuff, which is a really fun fight. It's a good game if you've never played it. But yeah, like, so there's like 2 occasions of him being hit, right? One is when he's asleep, and the other is when it is like a complete bamboozle. But in a fight when he's not asleep, he's unhittable.
Well, wait, how does that fight end with him again? I can't
He
remember.
essentially he eventually falls asleep, and then you can hit him.
Why does he
dodges
Does he get tired out from fighting?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He dodges a few times while asleep, and then eventually you hit him.
Yeah, because the Sans fight is essentially a gauntlet. You just have to survive it until the end.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy. Because like if you've never played Undertale, the way combat works is it's sort of a bullet hell game. Where you're just dodging stuff, and then you get the opportunity to attack or choose what to do. You don't necessarily have an attack button. The certain opportunities come up for you to do attacks or what is it called when you befriend them or whatever. It's been a bit since I've played Undertale. So the thing is, that is how. What is the character named? That character fights in Undertale, right?
Your character, Frisk?
Yes,
the
that is how
child?
Frisk
Yeah.
fights. Frisk fights in a way that suits that game style.
Yeah.
Zarathos is just gonna be shooting fire. Like it doesn't. He's not gonna be waiting around for that gauntlet to be finished and then
But-
choose whether or not to attack or to give him a hug. Like Zarathos is
Yeah.
just going right at him.
But part of it
Mercy, that's what it is,
in the fight, like one thing that you say, like Zarathos has these abilities, right? But like you as that character have abilities in the game that then he takes away from you and doesn't allow you to use because you're not given the benefit of a turn to attack with. And so it's like really, it's hard to apples this, because I think there's also the question of like, would the only way Zarathos would kill him is if Sans killed Johnny's soul, which I think is when the KO graphic comes up. And then so even like after that point, my argument's over. I don't care if Zarathos beats Sans, but I think Johnny Ghost Rider does lose. And it's I don't know. It's because
Wait,
there's,
are
like,
you
the
going at
fourth
this
wall.
with a technicality that technically Zarathos is in Ghost Rider?
I mean,
Is that your argument?
Yes, the age-old death battle rule. The first one to lose a soul loses the fight. That's it.
Because
would
Zarathos is literally the source of Ghost Rider's power.
yeah, but
He is Ghost
Zarathos
Rider.
wouldn't attack Sans unless Sans had
Killed Johnny.
yeah.
Also, later
remove
for alligators,
Johnny's
Sans
soul.
falls asleep
Yeah.
because his last attack is doing literally nothing and not giving you the chance to attack. So that goes on for so long, he literally falls asleep.
Yeah.
So was that more just out of boredom, or
Sloth?
think
What are we
so.
talking
did he hit?
Or
Yes, he's
sloth,
yep, see,
the
right,
sin of
Josh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, Chad. Stop sinking my ship.
That was helping you. That was helping you.
Okay, he does. Yeah, sure. He does. It is boredom, but
I was like, it's not an endurance thing. It's not like he hits a
No,
point and then he
no.
ends up falling asleep. He's literally just like since he couldn't be
It's-
hitting, right? But with Ghost
it's-
Rider, he would be hitting.
it's because at that point he believes he's fully removed the ability for the main character to attack from the mechanic of the game, right?
Is
So
it?
I think
thought
he just
I
decides
thought
to
it's
go to
him
sleep.
Giving you a choice, like a final choice. Maybe again, it's been ages. since
Yeah,
I
it's
played
been a
this.
while. Well, because you like, I think there's two ways to beat the fight. If I remember correctly, you can move the battleground to the point where you're able to click the like attack button, or I think you just keep through on the gauntlet until he falls asleep.
It looks like the chat is having different interpretations of it as well. Because I mistook something when I played it, but I thought he was. I thought it was like the whole like morality choice, right? Like, I could kill you if I wanted to, but Sans isn't there to kill you. He's there to like make you see the error of your ways as as you've been killing everybody. But a few people in chat are saying, "Nah, I just got tired." So if he just gets tired, I mean, Zarathos ain't getting tired. Guy's literally the angel of vengeance.
Yeah, but
Checkmate. Okay. that's it.
how does the angel of
He
vengeance?
said, "Yeah, he agreed."
How does the angel of vengeance like beat somebody they can't attack against?
I did see this get brought up in the chat, and then it's like, well, technically, oh no, this is interesting because they're like, if he kills Johnny or whatever, then he'd be extra vulnerable to the penance stare because he just committed murder. But guess what? He's not actually killing him. He's just throwing his soul into a eternity hallway.
Well-
so it's still there,
No, I mean he would
right?
he would use gaster blasters on the soul to I assume destroy it. They don't use that language, but I don't know what else.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean-
Chad, you are right. That I'm thinking of when he tricks you. He like pretends to be like, okay, I'm giving you a final choice, and if you do spare him, then he just fucking backstabs you because he like judges you. He like judges you as like, even though you have befriended me or you have given me mercy, because you did not give mercy to everybody else, I have to deliver judgment. Is his whole
Well,
thing?
At that
He
point,
is the spirit of vengeance. This is kind of a cool
Yeah,
matchup.
at
before I
that
think
point-
about it.
Nice. Yeah.
Sans knows you're not this kid. You're the soul of like this like child that died that's filled with nothing but hate. Like you can there's because like once again the game mechanics work this way. Your save gets tagged with a certain like genocide tag, which then makes your character, as far as Sans the character in the game perceives you, being like having the soul of this a person in the game. Like there's a specific character that is like a dead child that's filled with nothing but hatred for whatever reason. It's pretty grim, but yeah, like. And the only way to reverse that is to delete your entire save file, right? So, like, that is essentially what he's trying to get you to do because he understands that as a physical or a thing that can actually happen in their world is you deleting your save file and starting over.
William
So-
admitted Sans is the spirit of vengeance means he's equal to Xanathos.
Yeah.
Get dunked. Okay.
I mean, if
is-
Xanathos is willing to delete his save file, like,
Yeah,
you know, there's
unfortunately, Sans does lose his soul to Flowey. So we know Sans has a soul that can
Yes.
be attacked, can be stolen, can be killed. And that is all Ghost Rider does.
Well-
that is what Ghost Rider does on a daily basis. This is his
Yeah.
thing.
maybe not be killed, but be stolen. Yes, it can be stolen. His soul can get stolen.
Everybody
Yeah,
in
that happens.
Undertale can be killed. That's the whole point. You can kill him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess in that run you do. If you're like super genocide, yeah, you do. I guess kill him.
Yes.
But yeah,
so there we
it's-
go. Checkmate, everybody.
If I feel like if we do this episode for real, I feel like we're gonna have to bring on like a philosopher.
That would be great.
A little bit.
Someone
Like-
to consult.
Like
Yeah,
I think the thing that still remains is like, yeah, I'll give you that Ghost Rider could steal his soul, but that requires Ghost Rider to get a turn, which once his soul's getting thrown down an endless hallway, the second the match starts, it's like
Ghost Rider's not gonna be like, oh yeah, I will play by your rules. I will play by the Undertale game rules.
But
Ghost Rider's not gonna
that
give a
is
shit.
to say, though, that, yeah, I think you're right, but in whatever rules are present, Sans is going to be aware of the rules, right? And so,
guys, speaking of getting existential, sorry to cut you off. Mr. Monk has a very important question for me. Mr. Monk is asking, Ben, do you have a soul? Answer the query, please. And I have to say, Mr. Monk, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know. So I guess because I'm not sure, I have to say no. I do not.
Wow.
what?
Big
Okay.
revelation. on
I
this
have no
episode.
idea how to. I have no
this
idea
kid
whether I do
is
or
gonna
not.
hit
So
Twitter with the weirdest shit after
The,
this.
the hardest agnostic answer possible.
Yeah.
Like,
basically, yeah.
I'm a ginger, so make your jokes.
Ah,
There we go. We'll see. Okay, sorry, Sam. What were you saying?
Something about him understanding the mechanics. It is a.
Well, you said earlier that Sans is like almost impossible to hit, right? I mean,
yeah,
His evasion is perfect, so he can't be hit
Yeah.
technically until he falls asleep, and even then he still dodges for a while, and then when he's fully asleep, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, I think
They
the
get him.
only thing you can really compare it to is he's fast enough to dodge everything from the character Frisk, who is like fast enough to dodge lightning, like actual lightning. So like you could put it somewhere around there, but I don't know if you're gonna say they're like faster than light.
But that's
Faster
all
lightning,
we've seen
yeah.
characters
Light,
be able
no.
to throw at him. So
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
limitation of only what we've seen. But if his evasiveness is perfect, like I get we have to like use what we can see, but theoretically,
Wait, evasiveness is
Where's
not a
the
thing
ceiling?
in Undertale. He's not evading your attacks. You're evading his attacks. Where is this coming from?
No, he evades your attacks because you can attack him by like messing with the mechanics of it, and he just always evades until he's asleep, and then you can actually hit him.
Okay.
So
Okay.
basically, I'm
We're
watching a
also
video on it
talking
right
about
now.
a
I'm watching a video
tiny
right now. So
child.
basically, people line up the perfect attack, right? The absolute perfect
Mhm.
attack, and it shows him he like sidesteps, and then he's back, right? And when he's like, "What? You think I'm just gonna stand there and take your attack?" So he is actually sidestepping, like evading.
Okay.
hmm.
Okay. That's right. We're also talking about Frisk here, who while is clearly a powerful
Is
murderer,
a child with a
tiny
kitchen
child.
knife. Yeah. That is that's fair. But
versus the angel of vengeance.
to be fair, is a child with a kitchen knife that is like possessed by a demonic soul, right?
Well,
so like there's some more to it.
I didn't really touch on this. I do want to make sure I do not undersell the power level that Zarathos has. Zarathos, again, can match the power of Mephisto within Mephisto's own realm, which, as we mentioned in the Ghost Rider Lobo episode, when Mephisto fights in that realm against Galactus, they are literally threatening the entire universe. It is like planets are exploding just as a byproduct of their fight. Like literally the entire universe could get obliterated as a byproduct of their fight. So Zarathos is on that sort of level. The only reason why he doesn't bring that sort of power out all the time is because of what you mentioned before. He is specifically targeting entities that he believes deserve his judgment. But in a death battle, like, we have to say that he's going to be willing to attack, because otherwise it's not a death battle anymore. So that is a huge level of power that is unheard of, as far as I'm aware, in the Undertale Xenoverse.
Well, I would say that like the key thing about Sans is that he changes the mechanics of the fight, right? And I would say like to give Sans the powers he possesses in his game and put him in death battle, he would have to have the ability to change the rules or the mechanics of a death battle. Like that is where his power is, right? And so if he's
is it
able,
changing that, or is it just understanding it so well?
I mean, it's manipulating it for sure.
Okay.
Reality manipulation? Okay.
So I did not expect this to go
Okay.
here
Like,
today.
Sans-
There's a lot
not
going
at
on.
all.
Everybody, I want
Reality
you to think about this for a
manipulation.
little bit, because we do have a sneak peek that we need to get to. This sneak peek for what I think is one of our most ridiculous episodes we've ever done here on Death Battle. Let's go ahead and share the sneak peek of SpongeBob versus Aquaman.
Mermaid Man? Wait a second, you're not Mermaid Man.
The name's Aquaman, evildoer.
Evildoer? I'm a hero.
I saved this city. There's only one real hero here, Fiend. And he's a super friend.
You see, sir, I'm a sea sponge, phylum porifera, and you can't just... How about a little karate, Waterman?
It's Aquaman!
It looks so good. Like,
It's so
it's
good.
incredible.
So
Is the onomatopoeia behind that last hit sterility?
Sterility.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was like, didn't notice that. That's good stuff.
Amazing.
it is. Oh God, I can't praise Liam and Luis and the rest of the team enough for what they've done with this episode. As somebody who did not grow up, with SpongeBob myself, I wasn't really sure what to expect from this matchup, to be perfectly honest. Several people wanted to bring SpongeBob in. This was the matchup that was most generally loved. So we were like, all right, let's just do it. And every time I see some more animation or writing or research come in for this, I would just be blown away. It's incredible. I do also want to shout out the voice actors for this episode, Tom Schalk and Keston Howard, who have been on Death Battle before. Keston is Aquaman, and I believe the last time he was on was for King Mickey, I believe. And Tom Schalk, man, that guy Tom's got a good range because he's SpongeBob, and he's also been Omni-Man and Kool-Aid Man and
Whoa.
Dio.
Wow, awesome.
So
Heck yeah.
very different voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are incredible. All right, so very excited to share that episode with you guys. That will be coming out this weekend, October 16th, on Rooster Teeth for First members, and October 17th on the Death Battle YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. Mark your calendars for that. It gets kind of wild because these characters are ridiculous, and there's a really interesting theme. You know, kind of like how we've been discovering this like existential theme for Ghost Rider versus Sans. There was sort of a theme, multiple themes as well, that we sort of had an idea about when going into SpongeBob Aquaman, but also just sort of developed and we learned more about them and discovered them as we built up the episode or worked on the episode. So there's definitely a lot more going on in this episode than just wacky sponge versus wacky fish Superman. There's some crazy stuff that's going on. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the end of this community death battle.
For Skeletober!
Celebration! Yes, and remember, we are doing a tournament of sorts. So whoever wins this is going to the final episode of the month. Currently, we have, was it Overlord Ainz? Was that the one who won?
Somehow.
Yeah.
Last time, Ainz is going to the end.
Mhm.
To face off in the skeleton jamboree. I don't know, whatever we're gonna call it.
I'll think on it.
But we need to figure out which of these
Skeletournament!
The Skeletournament.
There you go.
Yeah, that'll do.
There it is.
The Skeletournament of the Celebration of Skeletober. Yes, I love it. Okay. So let's go ahead and start wrapping this up so that we can get the votes in. Sam, is there anything you wanted to talk about with Sans that you haven't touched on yet?
Not
Nope.
without starting a longer conversation. I was gonna say something about like how, you know, he pushes, like, as a character. I think when you look at him, his purpose is to push a game to have, and this is a heady one, ludonarrative harmony, and that's like his role as a character, right? And so whether or not he would win a death battle, I do think he would make it better. So there's that.
Okay.
I don't even.
But Ghost Rider can blow up the universe, so
Oh.
Yeah, but that seems like a pretty
Checkmate.
big sin, right? Like,
I mean,
that doesn't seem couth. I don't
not a
know.
good thing.
Let me
Well,
hit
okay.
up Jesus and see, but that seems pretty rude.
Josh, what's going through your head right now? Because like you're gonna get to vote in a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's anything that you think needs answering that hasn't been touched on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm thinking about like if Sans is manipulating game mechanics and the way that translates into a death battle is like reality manipulation. I'm wondering like, what does Ghost Rider have to defend against that? You know, If he can
Reality
kind of-
manipulation?
Yeah,
If he can basically manipulate and break the rules of the game, or he knows the rules of the game, he knows what's gonna happen. It's weird.
I mean, Sans
I
can't.
didn't expect to think this hard this episode.
Same.
Sans can't like erase people from reality, right? Like he just. What exactly is he doing to manipulate the rules? Like, what is he doing?
I mean, like, by not, like, when he eventually gets to a point where he says, okay, I'm not going to attack anymore, like, that is him acknowledging the rules of how combat in the game works. He also, I guess a lot of it is him discussing how he knows you've like changed the timelines multiple times and like loaded your save and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, Sans can see reality warping. He understands reality warping. He's not doing it himself, though, right?
I wouldn't say reality warping, no, but he understands the mechanics of the fight in the game and uses them to his advantage by just like not ending his turn, right? So that you don't have an option. Which isn't
but
clearly
again,
because it's a video game you have an option.
Zarathos
Like,
is not going to be playing by those rules. Ghost Rider's not going to wait for his turn. He doesn't have
Yeah.
Pokemon rules in his head. He's not going to be like,
Floating
okay,
Shop says
I'll let him
Sans
do
can
his thing.
attack you when it's your turn.
yeah, that's true.
So
Why couldn't-
I do.
why couldn't
I think
Ghost
it's
Rider
like,
attack during
Infinite
Sans'
eating of
turn?
souls down the infinite hallway.
Here's-
Just throw them
I think-
all in there.
there's two ways to look at it. It's like Sans is fourth dimensionally aware and then has the advantage, or if you don't buy into that argument, or like depending on how much credence you give that concept of like fourth dimensional awareness determines of whether or not he's like actually a good opponent, right? Because if he doesn't have the ability in a death battle to manipulate the rules or to use the rules to his advantage of a death battle, then yeah, I don't think he can win. But that is the point of his character, is essentially that he manipulates the rules in an interesting way of the game that he's in.
He doesn't manipulate the rules. He just understands the rules. Although somebody in the chat, I saw it, I missed the name, mentioned that he can attack while you're in the pause screen or in the menu or
In the
something
menu
like that.
screen, I saw.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Does that normally pause the game?
I mean, I don't think so. Because I do think there are fights where you also can just like wait a while and like the people will have dialogue if you're like taking time to decide if I should heal or attack, right? Pretty sure there's instances where other characters will have dialogue with you during that time. So I don't think it pauses.
Person with no name in the chat says, "Can Sans ride a badass motorcycle?"
It's a pretty
I
good
haven't even
question.
talked about the hog. Like,
Yeah, not at all.
is
But has
Ghost Rider?
has Sans starred in a terrible, terrible movie? How about that?
He's
he
never
Nick
been
Cage?
Nick Cage. Yeah, that would be.
Well, they you flip that pretty quick.
Yeah.
No, I mean Nick Cage's presence can just destroy people. Like, is nobody like depending on Sans' personality, he may see that Nick Cage is coming for him and just freak out like before he even sees Ghost Rider. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's something there too. Well, okay, so the way I'm seeing this, it still plays out as I mentioned before. Is like maybe Sans can kill Johnny Blaze, okay, but the Ghost Rider himself is not something that Sans is going to be able to stop, whether it's Johnny as the Ghost Rider or Zarathos, the pure essence of the Ghost Rider, retaliating after Sans attacks Johnny. And like Chad said, also he's got a cool motorcycle. Sans can't compete with that. So all right. I know we've got some community answers though. Maybe some of those will like new questions. So let's go ahead and bring those up. Let's go ahead and bring up the first community answer.
All right, this comes from William, who's in the chat. Playing Mephisto's advocate here and going for Sans.
I like that.
Zarathos, as the spirit of vengeance, does not hunt down those who are innocent, which Sans undoubtedly is. Therefore, it's unlikely for him to play a big part of this fight, leaving it just Blaze and Sans. On the inverse, Johnny Blaze has undoubtedly done a lot of bad in his tenure as the Ghost Rider, intentional or not. We know through his fight with Worldbreaker Hulk that he can go against Zarathos' wishes, which leaves him open for Sans' karmic attacks, which will slowly sap away Ghost Rider's health regardless of durability.
Karmic attacks.
Wow.
Interesting.
I think the karmic attacks are actually a lot like the penance stare. You take damage for the damage you've dealt in the game, I believe is like essentially how it's presented.
Beautiful.
So
we've barely even talked about the penance stare. I mean,
yeah, well,
I guess
I don't think the penance stare would do anything to him, right? Like especially in the
Other than
world
the
where
laziness argument.
Yeah,
But-
other than the laziness argument, in the world where he is a monster, which also I didn't mention this, but they do state very clearly. I think the line is they're made out of magic, like humans are made of water, like they are predominantly magic. So that might, I don't know if that plays into.
Oh,
I
the
imagine
people live in
Ghost Rider
Undertale?
can hurt magic as like entities anyway, so I doubt that matters much. But like, yeah,
The Hellfire would attack anything. It
it-
attacks the soul. So long as they have a
Yeah.
soul, he can.
But yeah,
keep going.
besides that, I don't think the penance stare would really do anything because he is a monster who doesn't like hurt humans. Like the only thing he does is like hang out and try and make sure the timeline's better for everybody. Not much of a
and I
sin.
think the penance stare isn't. I mean, everybody loves the penance stare. It's such a cool ability, but I don't think it honestly matters all that much when it comes to a versus debate with Ghost Rider because technically speaking, it's not his most deadly ability. I mean, it could be, but again, he could just blow up the universe effortlessly. I think the whole point of the penance stare is just to allow Zarathos to exact vengeance without collateral. Like it is like a fine tooth sort of attack. But which means in the context of the death battle, it doesn't really matter all that much. They'll just blow him up instead. But did we get to the second answer? I don't know. I was a little distracted.
No.
Nope.
We
So wait
have
on
one
the
more
second.
answer.
This one comes from Argus. I have to give it to Ghost Rider, man. Sans' greatest feats are all based on him understanding the rules of his specific world and how to break them. In a neutral death battle setting, it's going to come down to who's more impressive physically, and if the penance stare works on Sans, and I say the answers are Ghost Rider. And yes. Sorry, that broke my brain a little bit for a moment. And yes.
And yes.
I will say the argument for Sans from the community answers was much more compelling.
I think this is like a wicked fun one because like at the end here after our argument, I really don't have like I could go either way, right? Like I know that doesn't help my argument, but it is a really cool fight to like sit and think about when it is not like so many fights are like, but he's strong man who's stronger than other strong man, and this one is a little more heady than that, and it's a cool fight, fun.
I agree. This is way more interesting. Like we were trying to figure out what a good matchup for Ghost Rider would be, or Sans, and eventually just kind of came together with this. But they kind of, it's a way more interesting matchup than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, for sure. But Ben, real quick, do you know what else is cool, interesting, and also a little spooky?
Are you talking about Red Web?
I
My
sure
favorite
am,
new
Ben,
podcast?
because this episode is also sponsored by Red Web. Are you captivated by the unknown? Do you obsess over unexplained phenomena? Do you frighten easily? Behold, Red Web, a podcast all about unsolved mysteries, true crimes, conspiracies, and the supernatural. With an appetite for the unknown, hosts Trevor Collins and Alfredo Diaz, two wonderful people, dissect a new unsolved mystery each week. From true crime to paranormal events and conspiracies, each episode dives into the timelines, the facts, and the popular theories that attempt to explain what's really happening with such strange incidents. This month, they're exploring haunted houses like the Blood House at Fountain Drive, Winchester Mystery House, and Demon House of Gary, Indiana. So check out Red Web now, available wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want to get the episodes a day early, head over to redwebpod.com. Redwebpod.com. Go support the show. It's cool.
You can go to their YouTube channel and watch the animated versions that we made for them. Really
you can
good.
do some of that too.
And
That's
then you can
that's a
just
good
get
sample.
Get a little taste, see if you like it.
Can they explore the mystery of my microphone? Because according to the chat, apparently
I didn't bring it up, Ben, but it's doing that thing that your thing does sometimes when it's got multiple sources and it freaks out and decides to ramp up to 1 million.
Sounds like it's like bass boosting or something like that.
Dude, y'all, we've tried to fix this. This has happened in it happened in our Death Battle VO session so much that Ben has a whole separate setup he does for the way that we VO.
It's something with how my computer treats this microphone. I'll probably use a different microphone next show then. Sucks because this is like the nice one.
I know.
But a spirit of Skeletober has possessed my microphone. That's probably what the actual answer is. Okay, well, then let's go ahead and get to the votes, starting with the community page poll. Let's go ahead and bring that up. The poll from before the show started. See where we were at.
Oh, damn.
Wow. Ghost Rider is 82% of the vote from the.
Oof. Boof.
That is
I'm
the
really
complete
surprised because
opposite.
Sans is super popular.
Yeah. Where's my fucking Tumblr crowd at? Come on. Tumblr? Where are you at?
Well,
Where
let's bring up the Tumblr poll.
Yeah. The Tumblr poll would be 80% Sans, I guarantee it.
I am shocked. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, all right. So I'm very curious though. I feel like this could go either way for everybody. We do have the poll up in the chat. If you haven't voted on it yet, go do that. But let's go to Chad. Not chat. Chad.
Man, I like this debate for how existential it got. And you know, Sam did his best, but I unfortunately I gotta go with Ghost Rider.
There you go.
One.
That is the correct answer. All right, Josh. What about you?
Yeah. The debate got a lot headier than I was expecting it to be. Kind of freaks me out a little bit, talking about all these souls and spirits and stuff. So, and I wasn't very familiar with Sans before going into it, so I'm going to lean into the fear of the unknown and vote for Sans and assume that he's, got some crazy stuff I don't know about and is really freaky.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Forget what Sam said. He's gonna go with block on faith.
I just assumed there's stuff out. You know what? Given that it's Sans, that honestly makes sense. Okay. Coming down to you guys. This could be a tie. But we got 2 votes for Ghost Rider, 1 for Sans. Let's go ahead and wrap up the chat poll and bring up those results. Hey, Ghost Rider 65%.
But you swayed more people.
I swayed a lot of people. Yeah. I will say, in one last-ditch argument, there is probably a solid argument to be made that Sans is aware of and possibly capable of his own fanfic. And so if I can bring Tumblr in next round, let me tell you, I got you dead to rights. Because I'm sure this fanfic just makes him absolutely insane.
All right, next time we'll have fanfic Sans versus okay, so Ghost Rider will be moving on to the final round of the Skele tournament with Overlord Ainz, and whoever wins next week's episode. Now, next week's episode of Death Battle Cast, we have a matchup that I feel like most people won't be expecting, but we are very excited for it. Oh gosh. It is, I'm trying to remember. I want to make sure I get this guy's name right. It is yes. All right. Might be pronouncing it a little wrong, but bear with me. The second one. The first one will be Skull Knight from Berserk. Fuck yeah. Versus Gravelord Nito from Dark Souls. We're going full spooky dark fantasy for next episode.
Hardcore darkness.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think it's Nito. It might be Nito. We're not entirely sure. It's a big spooky guy from Dark Souls. Skeleton guy from Dark Souls. So yes, we're going Berserk versus Dark Souls in the next Death Battle Cast as we start wrapping up Skeletober Celebration.
Skeletober.
We need. Oh, I should have added reverb on
I know,
that
dude.
one.
I need that board. I need to be able to hit reverb on every time I do the Skeletober.
Yeah,
well, see, we just got to time it right. So I'll say it first, and then the rest of you guys just say it slightly after me. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Skeletober.
That's gotta sound bad.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Awful.
At
I
least
hope
it's
my
Mike
Lag.
Lagers.
We'll see.
Yeah, I hope my possessed mic peaked at that moment too. All right, we hope to see you guys in the next episode. We will play the sneak peek of SpongeBob Aquaman at the end of the show as well, just in case you missed it. Be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome. See you next week. Take care.
Goodbye.
Mermaid Man? Wait a second, you're not Mermaid Man.
The name's Aquaman, evildoer.
Evildoer? I'm a hero.
I saved this city. There's only one real hero here, Fiend. And he's a super friend.
You see, sir, I'm a sea sponge, Phylum Porifera, and you can't just... How about a little karate, Waterman?
It's Aquaman!